Hey everyone, welcome to EduCrush, where we simplify learning for all competitive exams. In this video, we are going to discuss top 200 most repeated polity questions asked in SSC CGL, CHSL, MTS and other exams over the last 5 years. These are not just random questions, they are based on real SSC papers and linked to NCERT topics from class 6 to 12. Whether you are a beginner or revising last minute, this video will help you remember most important articles, amendments, fundamental rights, duties, and key constitutional features. So grab your notebook, stay focused, and let's begin with the most expected questions in Indian polity for SSC exams. So the first question is, which part of the Indian Constitution deals with the fundamental rights? So part 3. Part 3 deals with the fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution. Next, who is known as the father of Indian Constitution? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The concept of Directive Principles of State Policy was borrowed from the Constitution of which country? Ireland. Which article of Indian Constitution abolishes untouchability? Article 17. The Preamble of Indian Constitution declares India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Which schedule of Indian Constitution contains the list of official languages? 8th schedule. The President of India is elected by elected members of both houses of parliament and legislative assemblies of states and union territories. Option C is correct answer. Next, which article of the Constitution provides special status to Jammu and Kashmir? Article 370. Next, the right to education is a fundamental right under which article? Under Article 21A. Who appoints the Chief Justice of India? President appoints the Chief Justice of India. The concept of judicial review in the Indian Constitution is borrowed from which country? USA. Which article deals with the abolition of titles? Article 18. The fundamental duties were incorporated into the Constitution by which amendment? 42nd Amendment. Which of the following is not a fundamental right? So right to property is not a fundamental right. The concurrent list in the Indian Constitution is borrowed from the Constitution of Australia. Which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the right to constitutional remedies? So Article 32 is called as right to constitutional remedies. The idea of single citizenship in India is adopted from which country? UK. The maximum strength of the Lok Sabha as per the Constitution is 552. Who has the power to dissolve the Lok Sabha before its term ends? So President has the power to dissolve the Lok Sabha before its term ends. The right to information is associated with which fundamental right? So right to freedom of speech and expression. Which amendment act is known as mini constitution? So 42nd Amendment Act is known as the mini constitution. The concept of Panchayati Raj is mentioned in which part of the constitution? So part 9. Part 9 of the constitution is mentioned Panchayati Raj. The Finance Commission is constituted under which article of the Constitution? So Article 280. Which article of the Constitution deals with the protection of life and personal liberty? Article 21. The Union list contains how many subjects? So 100 subjects. The residuary powers are vested with Union Parliament. The term secular was added to the preamble by which amendment? So 42nd Amendment 1976. In which year was the Constitution of India adopted? In the year 1949. So adopted on 26 November 1949, came into the effect on 26 Jan 1950. The Constitution of India contains how many articles originally? Originally, it contains 395 articles. What is the total number of schedules in the Indian Constitution? So, total number of schedules in the Indian Constitution is 12. From which country did India adopt the idea of a parliamentary system of government? UK. How many fundamental duties are mentioned in the Constitution? So 11 fundamental duties are mentioned in the Constitution. Originally it was 10. 11th one added by 86th amendment in 2002. Next question. Which body is known as the guardian of the Constitution? Supreme Court. Which part of the Constitution deals with the Union Executive? Part 5. Part 5 of the Constitution deals with the Union Executive. Which article allows the President to declare national emergency? Article 352. Who presides over the joint sitting of Parliament? Speaker of Lok Sabha. Which article deals with the Election Commission? Article 324, that is 324. The power of judicial review in India is held by Supreme Court and High Courts. Secularism in India. Secularism in the Indian context means no official religion and equal respect for all. The first constitutional amendment in India was made in which year? 1951. 41st question. Which fundamental right was removed from the list by the 44th amendment? So right to property is removed from the list by 44th amendment. Under which article can the president impose president's rule in a state? Under the article 356. Who appoints the governors of states in India? So president appoints the governors of states in India. How many types of emergencies are mentioned in the Constitution? So 3 types of emergencies are mentioned. So one is in state level, next national level, and financial level. Which is a final interpreter of the Indian Constitution? Supreme Court is the final interpreter of the Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution is described as a federal structure with a unitary base. Who said this? With a unitary base, who said this? Ivor Jennings. Who was the first Speaker of Lok Sabha? G.V. Mavalankar. Next question. In which part of the Constitution are the Directive Principles of State Policy (DPSPs) included? Under Part 4. Part 4 of the Indian Constitution are the Directive Principles of State Policy included. Next, what is the minimum age for contesting the Lok Sabha elections? So, minimum age is 25 years. Which article allows the Parliament to amend the Constitution? So, Article 368 allows the Parliament to amend the Constitution. How many members can be nominated to Rajya Sabha by the President? So 12 members can be nominated to Rajya Sabha by the President from fields like art, literature, science and social service. Next, who was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution? B.R. Ambedkar. The maximum duration between 2 sessions of Parliament can be 6 months. How many readings does a bill have in Parliament before becoming law? So 3 readings bill have in Parliament before becoming law. Which article deals with equality before law? That is Article 14. This question got repeated for multiple times. The Panchayati Raj system was implemented in which year? 1959. First introduced in Nagaur district, Rajasthan. The term republic in the preamble means president is head of the state. Next question. Which schedule of the Constitution deals with the anti-defection law? So 10th schedule deals with the anti-defection law of the Constitution. The Rajya Sabha is also known as Upper House, Council of States, House of Elders. So all the above. The Vice President of India is elected by members of both houses of parliament. Who decides whether a bill is a money bill or not? So, Speaker of Lok Sabha decides whether a bill is a money bill or not. Fundamental rights are enforceable by Supreme Court and High Courts. Which part of the Constitution is related to the emerging provisions? So, Part 18. In case of conflict between central and state laws on a subject in the concurrent list, which one prevails? Central law prevails. Which amendment added the words socialist and secular to the preamble? 42nd Amendment. Which fundamental right ensures protection against arrest and detention in certain cases? Article 22. Which of the following articles cannot be suspended even during emergency? So, Article 20 and 21 cannot be suspended even during emergency. What is the minimum age to become the President of India? The minimum age is 35 years to become the President of India. Who is the first citizen of India? So, President is the first citizen of India. How long can the President's rule in a state be continued with parliamentary approval? So, 3 years. Next question. Who administers the oath of office to the President of India? So, Chief Justice of India. What is the term of Rajya Sabha members? So, 6 years. Which article grants special status to the state of Nagaland? So, Article 371A. Article 371A. Who is the custodian of the Indian Constitution? So, Supreme Court is the custodian of the Indian Constitution. Who can remove the Vice President of India from the office? So, Rajya Sabha with Lok Sabha's agreement. Rajya Sabha with Lok Sabha's agreement can remove the Vice President of India from office. Which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the abolition of untouchability? Article 17. This question also repeated for multiple times. Next, the maximum gap between two sessions of a state legislature is 6 months. Which constitutional body is responsible for distribution of revenues between center and state? Finance Commission. The governor holds office for a term of 5 years. Which body recommends the president regarding financial emergency? No such recommendation is needed. Financial emergency under Article 360 can be declared directly by the president. The concept of DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy, was taken from Ireland. The Interstate Council is set up under which article? Under Article 263. You can also eliminate the option. Article 370, Special Status, and 263, Interstate Council, is set up under 263 article. Who has the power to dissolve the Lok Sabha? President has the power to dissolve the Lok Sabha. Next, the minimum age to be elected as a Rajya Sabha member, so that is 30 years. The 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act deals with Panchayati Raj. Which part of the Constitution deals with fundamental rights? So, Part 3. Part 3 deals with fundamental rights of the Constitution. Next question. The national emergency can be declared under Article 352. Indian citizenship is mentioned under which part of the Constitution? So, it was mentioned under Part 2. Under Part 2. Who was the first female governor of an Indian state? So, Sarojini Naidu, governor of Uttar Pradesh. Next, 19th question. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship is mentioned in the preamble. The idea of fundamental rights was borrowed from USA. Which article deals with the special status of Jammu and Kashmir before abrogation? Article 370. The Constitution of India was enacted in which language originally? English. Which article provides protection to civil servants? Article 311. How many types of writs can be issued by the courts in India? 5. Habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, quo warranto. So these are the 5 types of writs can be issued by the courts in India. How is the chief minister of a state appointed? Appointed by governor. What is the tenure of a member of the Lok Sabha? So 5 years. Who conducts the elections of the President of India? Election Commission of India. The President of India can be removed by impeachment. Which article is related to the Uniform Civil Code UCC? Article 44. This question is also most important. Next, 101th question. Who appoints the Chief Election Commissioner of India? President appoints the Chief Election Commissioner of India. Which part of the Constitution contains the Directive Principles of the state policy? So Part 4 deals with DPSPs of the Constitution. Which article is known as the soul of the Constitution? Article 32. Right to constitutional remedies given by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar called it the soul. Next, the term secular was added to the Constitution by which amendment? So 42nd Amendment 1976. Next, which fundamental right is available only to Indian citizens? So freedom of speech, Article 19. Which article provides special provisions for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes? So Article 15.4. Under which article can the President of India grant pardons? Under Article 72. This is very, very, very important question in which you can expect in upcoming exams. So Article 72. Can President of India grant pardons? What is the maximum strength of the Lok Sabha? 552. So 530 plus 20 plus 2 nominated from Anglo-Indian community if required. Who can suspend the fundamental rights during an emergency? So President can only the person who can suspend the fundamental rights during an emergency. Which body settles disputes between center and state? Supreme Court. The concept of judicial review is taken from which country? So USA. Which article deals with the functions of the UPSC? This is also one of the important question under Article 320. Next, the 44th Amendment of the Constitution removed which right from fundamental rights? So right to property of the Constitution removed fundamental rights by using 44th Amendment Act. So now it became a legal under Article 330A. Who has the power to make laws on the subjects in the state list during emergency? So the Parliament has the power to make laws on the subjects in the state list during emergency. Which article gives power to the President to proclaim an emergency? Article 352. Which one is not a feature of the Indian Constitution? So presidential form of government. Presidential form of government is not a feature of the Indian Constitution. Next, what is the maximum number of members in the Legislative Assembly of a state? So 500. 500 is the maximum number of members in the Legislative Assembly of a state. So which body is known as the guardian of the Constitution? So Supreme Court. This is also one of the important question. The term state is defined under which article? So Article 12. Under Article 12, the term state is defined. Next, who is the custodian of the Constitution of India? So Supreme Court is the custodian of Constitution of India. Next, who has the authority to form a new state or change state boundaries? So who has authority? So Parliament has authority to form a new state or change state boundaries under Article 3. Next, the right to education is part of which article? Article 21A. This is also one of the important question. Next, who administers the oath of office to the governor of a state? Chief Justice of High Court. How many members can the President nominate to Lok Sabha? So 2 members can the President nominate to Lok Sabha from Anglo-Indian community if needed. Article 331. What is the meaning of secularism in the state context? So, equal status to all religions is the meaning of secularism in the Indian context. Which amendment lowered the voting age from 21 years to 18 years? So, 61st Amendment in the year 1989. Which article of the Constitution deals with the right to constitutional remedies? So, Article 32. This is also one of the most important question. Next, who is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha? Vice President is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Which schedule of the Constitution lists the official languages of India? 8th schedule of the Constitution lists the official languages of India. How many languages are listed in the 8th schedule? So 22 languages are listed in the 8th schedule. Next, the concept of secularism in the Constitution means so equal respect for all religions. Under which article is the president rule imposed in a state? So Article 356. Which article provides for the formation of new states? So Article 3 provides for the formation of new states. Who decides the salaries of the Supreme Court judges? So Parliament decides the salaries of the Supreme Court judges. Parliament decides. Next, which fundamental right ensures the abolition of titles? Article 18. So this is also one of the most important question. The tenure of a panchayat is fixed for 5 years. Next, the Indian Parliament is bicameral. The term judicial review means judiciary reviews laws passed by Parliament. Option A is the correct answer. Next, 139th question. The fundamental duties were added to the Constitution by 42nd Amendment. This question is also repeated for multiple times. The concept of single citizenship in India is borrowed from UK. Next, who is the head of the state government? Governor. This question is also repeated for multiple times. So, governor is the head of the state government. Next, which body resolves disputes regarding the election of the president and vice president? So, Supreme Court resolves disputes regarding the election of the president and vice president. Which schedule deals with the anti-defection law? So, 10th schedule. The first general elections in India were held in the year 1951 to 52. Who presides over the joint session of Parliament? Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Which article gives freedom of religion in India? Article 25 gives the freedom of religion in India. In which year did the Indian Constitution came into force? So, in the year 1950 on 26 Jan. Next question. The Speaker of Lok Sabha is elected by members of Lok Sabha. So, members of Lok Sabha are the members who elects the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Next, the Indian Constitution has how many parts originally? So, 22 parts. 150th question. What is the minimum age to contest elections for Lok Sabha? So, minimum age is 25 years. Who is known as the first citizen of India? So, President. This question we already know. Which article gives the definition of money bill? Article 110. This is also one of the most important question. Next, the President can dissolve the Lok Sabha on the advice of Prime Minister. So, Prime Minister acts as advisee to dissolve the Lok Sabha. The President can dissolve the Lok Sabha on the advice of Prime Minister. Next, which body recommends the distribution of taxes between center and state? So, the Finance Commission. The concept of DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy, is borrowed from Ireland. Which schedule contains the subjects under the Union, State and Concurrent list? So, 7th schedule. Who has the power to remove the Vice President? So, Parliament by resolution passed by both houses has the power to remove the Vice President. Next, which article provides special status to Jammu and Kashmir? Now revoked. Article 370. Now abrogated in 2019. How many fundamental rights are provided in the Constitution? So 6. The term of Rajya Sabha members is 6 years. 1/3 members retire every 2 years. This point is very important. Next, which fundamental right provides trafficking, forced labor and child labor? Article 23. The maximum number of members in the Rajya Sabha is 250. Who can recommend the dissolution of Lok Sabha before its term ends? So Prime Minister can recommend the dissolution of the Lok Sabha before its term ends, which is the highest law-making body in India. So Parliament. Parliament is the highest law-making body in India. Right to vote is a legal right under Representation of the People Act. So option B is correct answer. Legal right under Representation of the People Act. Right to vote. Fine. The Constitution provides how many types of emergencies? So 3 types: national, president's rule, or financial. Next, the Preamble declares India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Who appoints the Chief Justice of India? So President. Which schedule contains the provisions regarding Panchayati Raj? So 11th schedule. The concept of the rule of law is taken from which country? So Britain. The concept of rule of law is taken from Britain country. Next, the Indian Constitution is described as partly rigid, partly flexible. Next, what is the minimum age for becoming the President of India? 35 years. The term welfare state is mentioned in which part of the Constitution? So Directive Principles of State Policy, DPSP. Option C is the correct answer. Which amendment is known as the mini constitution? 42nd amendment is known as the mini constitution. Who is the custodian of the Constitution of India? So Supreme Court is said to be custodian of the Constitution of India. Article 370 now revoked. Earlier provided special status to which state? Jammu and Kashmir. Article 370 gives special autonomy to Jammu and Kashmir, revoked on 5th August 2019. Article 370E, Himachal Pradesh has no special article. C, Nagaland is covered under Article 371E. D, Mizoram has special provisions under Article 371G. Next, which schedule of the Constitution deals with the anti-defection law? So 10th schedule. So 8th schedule deals with the 22 official languages. Next, 9th schedule deals with land reforms and laws immune to judicial review. 10th schedule deals with anti-defection law added by 52nd Amendment 1985. Next, 11th schedule, powers of panchayats added by 73rd Amendment. Next, 178th question. Which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the right to equality before law? So Article 14. So Article 14 is right to equality before law. Article 19, freedom of speech and expression, movement, etc. Article 21, protection of life and personal liberty. Article 32, right to constitutional remedies, called Soul of the Constitution by B.R. Ambedkar. Next, 179th question. In which schedule are the powers and functions of municipalities given? So under the schedule 12th. So 10th schedule, anti-defection. 11th schedule, Panchayati Raj, 29 subjects. Next, 12th schedule, urban local bodies, municipalities, 18 functions. Next, 7th schedule, union, state and concurrent lists. Article 356 is related to president's rule in state. So Article 356, president's rule on failure of constitutional machinery in the states. Next, Article 352, national emergency or in the time of war or external aggression or armed rebellion. Article 360, financial emergency. Article 131, original jurisdiction of Supreme Court, state center disputes. Next, 181th question. How many schedules are there in Indian Constitution currently? So currently 12. So the mnemonic code, that is EduCrush mnemonic code, is tiers of old PM. You can. So T stands for territories, first schedule. E, emoluments, second. A, affirmations, third schedule. R, Rajya Sabha seats, fourth schedule. S, states powers, so fifth and sixth schedules. O stands for official languages, 8th schedule. F, federal lists, 7th schedule. O, other laws, judicial immunity, 9th schedule. L stands for local governments, 11th and 12th schedules. D, disqualification, 10th schedule. So PM, power to disqualify MPs, MLAs, 10th again. Okay, so in this way you can remember all 12 schedules by using EduCrush mnemonic code, that is years of old PM. Next question, Article 368 is related to. So Article 368 is related to what constitutional amendment? So 368 lays down the procedure to amend the constitution. 324 election commission powers. 352 to 360 emergency powers. Article 336 to 51 Directive Principles of State Policy, that is part 4. Next, Article 17 abolishes untouchability. So Article 17 untouchability, abolition of untouchability. Article 18 abolition of titles. Article 23 prohibition of human trafficking and bonded labor. Dowry is handled under the Dowry Prohibition Act, not a specific article. So which schedule contains the union, state and concurrent lists? So 7th schedule contains the union, state and concurrent lists. So 7th schedule 3 lists: union list central government, state list state government, concurrent list both. So 5th schedule contains scheduled areas and tribes. Next 10th anti-defection. Next 11th schedule panchayats. Next 185th question, Article 21A was inserted by which amendment? So 86th amendment 2002. So 42nd amendment, we call it as mini constitution, added words socialist secular. 44th amendment removed right to property as fundamental right. 61st amendment reduced voting age from 21 years to 18 years. 86th amendment inserted Article 21A, right to education from ages 6 to 14 years, free and compulsory education. So next question, Article 32 is known as the soul of the constitution. Next, B.R. Ambedkar called Article 32 the soul of the constitution as it allows people to directly approach the Supreme Court to protect their fundamental rights. So Article 32 provides writs like habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, prohibition and quo warranto. So which article provides the establishment of Finance Commission? So Article 280 provides for the establishment of Finance Commission. Next, Article 280 Finance Commission every 5 years recommends center state revenue sharing. Next, Article 266 Consolidated Fund of India. Article 324 Election Commission. Article 312 All India Services. Next, the 8th schedule of the Constitution originally had how many languages? So originally 14 languages were listed in the 8th schedule. Over time more were added. Now it has 22 official languages. Added later Sindhi, Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali, 71st Amendment, Santali, Maithili, Bodo, Dogri, 92nd Amendment. Next question, which article of the Constitution abolishes titles except military and academic? So Article 18. So Article 18 prohibits Indian citizens from accepting the titles like Sir, Raja, etc. except academic or military ones. Article 14 equality before law. Article 15 no discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, etc. Next, Article 20 protection in respect of conviction for offences. Next, 190th question, Article 343 of the Constitution relates to, so Hindi as the official language. So 343 declares Hindi in Devanagari script as the official language of the Union. Article 21A right to education. Article 17 abolition of untouchability. Article 368 constitutional amendment. So 191st question, which schedule deals with allocation of Rajya Sabha seats to the states? So 4th schedule. So 4th schedule allocates seats in Rajya Sabha to each state and union territory. 2nd schedule salaries and allowances of president, governors, judges, etc. 3rd schedule oath and affirmations. 6th schedule administration of tribal areas in Northeast. So you can remember schedules by using the EduCrush mnemonic code, that is years of old PM. Next, 192nd question, what is covered under the 5th schedule of the Constitution? So scheduled areas and tribes. So 5th schedule deals with scheduled areas and tribes in mainland India. Next, the 6th schedule, autonomous tribal councils in northeastern states like Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. 10th, anti-defection law. 11th and 12th, Panchayat Raj and municipalities. Next, Article 19 guarantees which type of rights? So it guarantees fundamental rights. So Article 19 grants 6 basic freedoms like speech and expression, assembly, association, movement, residence, profession. So these are the 6 fundamental rights under Part 3. Next, 194th question. The Indian Constitution has borrowed the concept of fundamental duties from USSR. So fundamental duties were added via the 42nd Amendment 1976, inspired by the USSR Constitution. From USA, fundamental rights, judicial review. From France, republic, liberty, equality, fraternity. UK, parliamentary system, rule of law. So which of the following articles deal with the fundamental rights? So Article 12 to 35 deals with the fundamental rights. So fundamental rights 6 types currently. From 36 to 51, Directive Principles of State Policy. 51A, fundamental duties. 324, Election Commission. Next, 196th question. The number of subjects in the Union list is, so 97 subjects. Union list 97 subjects, that is defense, railways, atomic energy, etc. Next, state list 66 subjects. Concurrent list 47 subjects. Note, post 42nd Amendment adjustments, subject count may vary slightly depending on the interpretations. So Article 380 deals with Article 280 deals with so Finance Commission. So Article 280, formation of Finance Commission. Article 148, CAG, that is the Comptroller and Auditor General. Next, GST Council under Article 279A, 101st Amendment, Interstate Disputes, Article 131. Next, which article deals with Uniform Civil Code for the citizens? Article 44. Article 44 of Indian Constitution deals with Uniform Civil Code. Article 32, Constitutional Remedies. Article 14, Equality before law. Article 24, prohibits child labor. Next, 199th question. Which article allows the president to proclaim financial emergency? Article 360. Article 360. Financial emergency never used till date. Next, Article 352, National Emergency. 356, President's Rule. 365 deals with the failure to comply with Union's direction. So the last question, 200th question, the Constitution of India came into force. So easy question, right? So 26 January 1950. So adopted on 26 November 1949, came into force 26th Jan 1950, chosen to honor the 1930 Purna Swaraj Day. 15th August 1947, Independence Day. 9th December 1946, first meeting of Constituent Assembly. So now let's have quick recap under things to remember. So we have few things to remember. Let us check with one by one. So the first one is fundamental rights. So usually fundamental rights from Article 12 to 35. So 14, Article 14, most repeated one, right to equality before law. And 15, no discrimination on religion, religion, caste, sex. Next, 16, equal opportunity in public jobs. Article 17, abolition of untouchability. 19, freedom of speech, expression, etc. 21, freedom of speech, expression, etc. 21, protection of life and liberty. 21A, right to education, RTE. 22, protection in arrest and detention preventive. Next, 32, constitutional remedies, heart and soul, said by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Next, you can easily remember with EduCrush code, that is EFELSC. So E stands for equality, F stands for freedom, E stands for exploitation, L stands for liberty of religion, S stands for social and culture, C stands for constitutional remedies. Next, DPSPs, Article 36 to 51. 38, welfare of people, state's duty. 39, 38 is the welfare of people. 39, equal pay, no gender bias. 40, Panchayati Raj promotion. Article 44, Uniform Civil Code. 47, ban on intoxicating drinks. Next, fundamental duties, Article 51A. So usually we have 11 duties. Example, respect national flag, constitution, protect environment. It was inspired from USSR. Next, preamble and its keywords. So sovereign, no external control, sovereign. Next, socialist, economic justice, secular, equal respect to all religions. Next, republic, elected head, that is president. So 42nd amendment added socialist, secular and integrity. Next, coming to the president and vice president, that is from Article 52 to 73. Important articles are 52, there shall be a president. 53, executive power of union. 54, election of president. 61, impeachment of president. 63, VP is equals to Rajya Sabha chairman. Next, coming to the parliament. So from Article 79 to 122. So important articles are Article 79, composition, that is RS plus LS plus president, Rajya Sabha plus Lok Sabha plus president. Next, important article is 80, Rajya Sabha membership max 250. 81, Lok Sabha membership max 552. Next, 110, money bill. 112, union budget. Next, coming to the judiciary point of view, from Article 124 to 147. So important articles are 144, that is SC constitution. Next, 137, SC review power. Next, 141, law declared by SC is equals to binding. 143, advisory opinion of president. Coming to the state government, sorry, one second. So state government, articles 153 to 167. So we have two important articles from this notation, that is 153, governor for states. Next, 161, pardon by governor. Next, emergency provisions are also important. Emergency provisions, Article 352 to 360. So 352 article national, 356 president rule, next 360 financial. So just add +4 to easily remember. Next we also have some miscellaneous important articles. Those are 243 article Panchayati Raj related, 280 Finance Commission, 300A that is right to property became legal right. Next 324 Election Commission, next 326 voting age, that is 18 plus. Next, so that's all for today. I hope this video is helpful for you. So if you like the content, just hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. So if you have any questions, you can comment below. Till then, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. EduCrush, where you will crush the syllabus and ace the exams. So all the best. Thank you. Bye bye.